photo was taken during World War I when the Führer served as a volunteer. This is him after 10 years, surrounded by his faithful followers. His eyes are shining, his hand is furiously raised. There's no mistaking him here. Here is the Führer with his dog, Blondie. Here he is with Eva Braun, smiling. Here's his famous Tribune photo. I was there. I was standing so close that I could see the drops of sweat on his forehead. But let's start from the beginning. My name is Gerhard Detlef Meyer, and during the story that I'm about to recount, I served in the Gestapo, the Reich's secret police, as an SS Standartenführer. For 7 years, I worked loyally for the Third Reich, gaining a perfect reputation in the RSHA. I witnessed Germany's rebirth with my own eyes and believed in the wisdom and vision of Adolf Hitler. Now, as I'm going through this old battered diary that I haven't touched for several years, I'm surprised by how quickly the spirit of my notes changed since the day I visited a concentration camp. Gas chambers, ovens, frozen limbs, fleshless bones covered with skin, communists, Democrats, scientists who rejected the false scientific ideas of the Nazis, common people just like me. All of them ended up in the camp simply because they were out of favor with the Nazis. Then, there was Barbarossa. Our Führer directed the Wehrmacht's best forces to the Eastern Front, expecting an easy blitzkrieg. But the war dragged on. After our defeats at Stalingrad and Kursk, it seemed that our Führer had almost become mad. His horrible orders doomed many thousands of loyal soldiers to certain and meaningless death. In 1944, when the Soviets took Minsk, I made the final decision. A devil had brought war to the world and was decimating his own people, and this devil had to die. I decided that I must rid the world of Adolf Hitler. Many Germans hated the Führer. Hundreds of them had been interrogated by the Gestapo. My first contact was Otto Hefner. He had been serving in the Engineer Corps in Poland and had returned recently to Berlin. According to my sources, Hefner belonged to a secret group that was led by Ludwig Beck, a retired Wehrmacht general. Hefner and I became friends. We had a lot in common. Slowly, he became more open with me. At that day, July 19th, he slipped. Then he quickly broke off and looked at me fearfully. Raising his voice, he said a toast to the Führer, emptied his glass, and asked me to refill it. And that's what I did. We left the restaurant at 2 o'clock in the morning, very drunk. And then suddenly it was morning. I remember I got up without thinking why I was doing it. I still remember the hangover. A clean white sink for the Standartenführer. But there is only one outhouse, one washstand, and one iron stove for 30 people in a concentration camp. And there is one bucket of coal per day. A massive photo enlarger. A massive photo enlarger. I can only relax in a hot bathtub. For a couple of minutes, I become myself again, and the start.
You don't look so good, Herr Meyer. Did you sleep well? I sympathize, Herr Meyer. You should have a wife.
A wife? I'd love to take a wife. But it isn't that simple.
There are enough available women these days. Any one of them would be happy to marry an SS officer.
I'm not ready for marriage. But after the war?
Who knows when the war will end? A year? 2? 4?
War is a dead end. The future for Germany is peace.
Perhaps. But all the same, peace may yet be a ways off.
Poststrasse 22. Post office. Large windows, quality food, and polite waiters. That's why I like this restaurant.
May I help you? Your papers, please?
I don't have my documents with me.
That's all right. You can come back later. The post office is open until late.
I'll be sure to do so.
We'll be waiting for you. Nah, that's something of a problem. A lot of mail is lost. Death notices fare much better.
These certainly are not simple times.
That's for sure. You can buy a newspaper on the street, over at the stand. We only carry wholesale and back issues. Well, what kind of stuff do you like?
I'm not familiar with the current trends in modern literature. What are the popular genres?
There's war stories, party literature, ethnological writings, and...
Then I'd like some...
There's a wonderful book by Werner Bummelberg about male camaraderie in the trenches.
Thanks, I'll make a note of it.
Please, come again.
There's nothing in... No one is answering the phone.
Hello, Mayor.
Yes, Gruppenführer.
I'm glad to find you at home. What can you tell me about your report? Then why are you still at home, damn it? Be in my office in half an hour and don't be late.
I was planning to work on the Canada case last night, but a long talk with Hefner interfered with my plans. Now I have to hurry. The Gruppenführer will be angry if I'm late. The sad waiter is looking at his patron silently. It's clear that he hates his job.
Extra, extra. Here you go. You'll only find that in München, sir.
Ah, that's too bad. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Newspapers, extra.
Prince Albertstrasse, 8. RSHA.
Herr Meyer?
Yes?
Mr. Muller won't like it when he sees you haven't shaved.
You're right. Mueller isn't one to like the rugged look.
I don't mean to presume,
I just worked until very late last night.
Glad to help, Herr Meyer.
Prince Albertstrasse, 8.
Herr Meyer?
Yes?
Mr. Muller won't like it when he sees you haven't shaved.
You're right. Mueller isn't one to like the rugged look.
I don't mean to presume,
I just worked until very late last night.
Glad to help, Herr Meyer.
Ammersee-Strasse 9. My house. A passerby. He's frowning and seems worried about something.
The post office is calling. There's a telegram for you from Munich. You asked me to remind you.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it. We're glad that the High Command of the SS is using our post office.
This manifesto was published in Italy in 1925. A quote, "We do not want the state to be indifferent. We want the state to become the teacher and the mentor." Several days after its publication, an Italian philosopher, Benedetto Croce, I don't remember where I've put the drawer key. Last time I saw it was 2 days ago. Let's start from the beginning. I entered the room and went to the bedroom. Or did I sit at my desk? No, I didn't sit at my desk. Yes, I went to my bedroom and got changed. The key fell out of my pocket. I picked it up. Then I went back to my office to hide the key behind the photo on the mantelpiece. Or did I? Why am I thinking about the photo? I usually put it by the clock. No, of course not. I might put the key beside the clock when I was in a hurry, but that day I wanted to do everything right. Yes, I went to the photo with the key in my hand, and then I heard the phone ring. Did I throw the key on the armchair? Was I carrying the key when I answered the phone? Was it beside the phone? No, the key isn't here. I answered the phone while carrying the key. The caller asked me a question. I took a folder from the desk and read some information from it. Did I put it back on the desk? Did I carry it to the radio? Did I put it on the shelf? Did I take it to the fireplace to read later? Ah, yes, there's the key. The drawer is locked. Werner von Fritsch was the first German general to die in the war. He was an experienced general. He was promoted to the post of Commander-in-Chief of the Wehrmacht. In 1939, he was accused of being a homosexual and forced to resign. He was later able to clear his name, but never again returned to his position as Commander-in-Chief. The drawer is locked. A case of medical syringes, left behind by the house's previous owner. A small mirror in a white frame. I don't think I should do that. I don't think that will help me. A clean white sink for the Standartenführer, but there is only one outhouse, one washstand, and one iron stove for 30 people in a concentration camp, and there is one bucket of coal per day in the winter. A clean white sink for the Standartenführer, but there is only one outhouse, a clean white sink for the Standartenführer, but there is only one outhouse, one washstand, and one iron stove for 30 people in a concentration camp, and there is one bucket of coal per day in the winter. I can only relax in a hot bathtub. For a couple of minutes, I become myself again, and the Standartenführer is left in the hall. A clean white sink for the Standartenführer, but there is only one outhouse, one washstand, and one iron stove for 30 people in a concentration camp, and there is one bucket of coal per day in the winter.